And meanwhile, back in Washington, President Trump has reportedly approved attack plans on Iran. The president pushing back on those reports, though, saying he has yet to decide on a path forward. Correspondent Kellie Meyer is live at the White House with more on this angle. So, Kellie, what are you learning at this hour?
Yeah, there's some pushback from President Trump on the wording of approved, making it sound as though they are going forward with this. The White House is making clear to me and to NewsNation that they have not decided what the next step is here. President Trump says he has not yet made that final decision on whether or not the U.S. will get involved in these strikes. You see there, that's the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, walking down the stairs of the Executive Office building, walking over into the West Wing, getting ready for that Situation Room meeting. She is set to brief the president with the latest intelligence. For that intelligence briefing in the Situation Room, we also saw Radcliffe as well walking into that meeting. We don't know exactly whether or not it started yet. That's something that we're still working to find out from the White House. They kind of keep that sometimes unclear as to when it started. But we are going to keep an eye on exactly what the president may decide today, as we do know that he is reviewing options and says all options are on the table when it comes to whether or not to strike Iran. I wanted to play a bit more from what he had to say in the Oval Office about that on Wednesday.
I don't want to fight either. I'm not looking to fight. But if it's a choice between fighting and them having a nuclear weapon, you have to do what you have to do.
So you heard the president there, too, lining up his reasoning if he does decide to go through with this and the U.S. get involved in these strikes, saying that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, something that he's been consistent on throughout. Now we wait to see what happens next here. Kellie.
Yeah, we certainly do. So, Kellie, what's been the reaction elsewhere in Washington to President Trump's impending decision?
Yeah, it's something that's really divided, especially the Republican Party. You're hearing from those on maybe the MAGA side of this that don't want the U.S. to get involved and don't want to get involved in the forever wars that we've seen in the past, and they've been outspoken about that. But I was talking with Republican sources, and for a majority of members of Congress and Republican governors, they all feel as though they are leaving this up to the president. They trust the president will make the right decision, but they also don't want to really encourage getting involved in another conflict. If this is something that Israel can solve themselves, they say. I wanted to play a bit more from what we're hearing from both Democratic senators as well as Republican senators. Take a listen to this and we'll talk on the other side.
One point that deeply troubles me is that I have no sense, no confidence that we have adequately prepared U.S. personnel in the region, both civilian and military, for the ramifications of a strike.
First and foremost, this is not our war. This is Iran's war. The President of the United States is Commander-in-Chief of our forces. He listens to all of us.
So you heard there from the Democratic Connecticut Senator Richard Blumenthal. He was talking about the U.S. personnel and forces in the region being prepared. That's another question that senators raised, whether or not U.S. military or Americans get hit in some of these strikes, and then that requires the U.S. to get involved potentially. And then you heard from James Risch. He's the chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee. He was here at the White House meeting with President Trump, I'm told, on Wednesday. So we know that they are also talking about potential next steps here. And even Blumenthal said when he was briefed by the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, yesterday, that there's a more than 50-50 chance that the U.S. Could get involved in this. But again, he says the president has not made a final decision on that, Kellie.
Yeah, making that very clear. All right, Kellie Meyer, thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.